Former West Mercia Police Constable PC Oliver Deans, or Dines, who was mentioned in our report on the 27th of June, was facing trial over 2 sexual assaults, appeared at Worcester Crown Court today. 31-year-old Deans, or Dines, was alleged to have touched 2 women on separate occasions whilst he was a serving PC in Herefordshire in 2020. The IOPC were tasked to investigate the incident, which alleges that he met the women during the courses of his duties. No surprise there. Nothing quite like a vulnerable woman to take advantage of, eh? His brief appearance at Worcester Crown Court in June appears to have been a plea hearing, as reports simply suggest that he pleaded not guilty to both accounts of sexual assault by touching. He was then released on unconditional bail ahead of his next appearance, which was today. His case was again adjourned, and Deans, or Dines, was released once again on unconditional bail, allegedly due to the backlogging cases for the court to hear. Judge Jim Tyndall said, "Your case will be heard in November of next year. I appreciate that it's a very long time for this matter to be hanging over your head, and indeed hanging over the head of the complainants. It is a reflection, I am afraid, of how busy the courts are after the pandemic." Yeah, still using that one as an excuse. I personally find it highly concerning that he was and has been again released without bail conditions. Normally someone like this would be conditioned not to approach the witnesses or speak to them. But in this case it doesn't appear so. And that's a worry. Anyway, Dirty Dog Deans, or Dines, trial is scheduled to start on November the 20th next year and is expected to last around 4 days. Now, I didn't realise when I spoke of this ex-plod before, but we have spoken about him prior to that on the channel in another incident. The incident that actually saw him dismissed from West Mercia Police. That's right, it wasn't the sexual touching that saw him dismissed. Now, rather than go over it all again, I'm simply going to show you the video from the report about what saw PC Deans, or Dines, who was a trainee plod at the time, get his arse handed to him on a plate. A West Mercia police constable has been dismissed for entering radio competitions on his work issue phone whilst at work. Now, to be fair, I've added this not because I think he deserves the sack necessarily, but because I want to prove a point that since Sarah Everard's murder and the Met being so publicly highlighted over so many corruptions and breaches of standards over the past year, that I've said we will see an increase, for a while at least, of police being reprimanded in an attempt to make the public think that they're taking proactive steps to weed out bad and corrupt police officers. And this, I think, proves my point, even to the fact that this was an accelerated misconduct hearing, when we hear all too often of other more serious cases taking months or even years to reach a misconduct hearing stage. An accelerated misconduct hearing for PC Oliver Dines, or Deans, was held on Tuesday, resulting in the officer being dismissed without notice. The hearing, chaired by West Mercia Police Chief Constable Pippa Mills, heard that student officer PC Deans, or Dines, had used his work mobile phone on various occasions to enter premium SMS radio competitions. Between the 1st of June and August the 23rd, 2021, there were numerous competition entries which cost West Mercia Police £255.46. West Mercia Police said the officer's actions breached the standards of professional behaviour for honesty and integrity. Chief Constable Mills said it would have been clear that every entry to the competition was at the taxpayer's expense, totalling more than £255.46. Honesty and integrity is not negotiable for a police officer. You sure about that, Chief Constable Mills? Police officers are expected to act with honesty and integrity in everything they do, and this was clearly lacking in PC Deans, or Dines' behaviour. I am committed to taking whatever action is needed to make sure that West Mercia Police is a force that the public can trust and be proud of. Now, granted, this would amount to theft at the very least, but again, we've seen over the years of so many far more serious cases hanging in limbo for months or even years before they get heard, and in some cases far more serious allegations that have been proven, have been given a written warning. I don't think she's as committed as she's making out.